Hello student, myself Professor Ushali Tapde from ICEEM Engineering College. Now in last lecture we have seen what is design pattern, what are the benefits, advantages of design pattern and what is the type of design patterns. Now again from in today's lecture we will revise what is the design pattern, some portion of the design patterns, then what are the essential elements of our design pattern, and then we move on to the catalog of the design patterns, as well as we have seen how to organize the catalog, okay, as per the scope of that design pattern, whether it comes in a class scope or whether it come in a object scope. Okay, so very first is that what is a design pattern. A design pattern provides a general reusable solution for the common problems occurs in the software design. That means, again I have said, what is a design pattern? The problem which occurs again and again while developing the software or while solving the problem. So design pattern is nothing but a code, or we can say it is a solution which we can apply to solve that problem. The pattern typically show relationships and interaction between the classes or object. What this design pattern shows, it basically shows the relationship as well as the interaction between the classes or objects. And what is the idea behind the design pattern? To speed up the development process by providing well tested proven development or design paradigm. Obviously if we reuse the code which is already written, tested, if we reuse that code to solve our problem, so it will save our time as well as speed up the development process. Design patterns are programming language independent strategy for solving a common problem. That means a design pattern represents the idea, not a particular implementation. Okay, so design patterns you can use to make your code. Why we use the design patterns? Basically we can use the design patterns to make our code more flexible, reusable and maintainable. One of the benefit of using the design pattern is that flexibility and reusability. It is not mandatory to implement design patterns in your project always. Design patterns are not meant for project development, but it is used for reusability, to make speed up your development process, to make it easy. Okay, so design patterns are meant for common problem solving. Now what again we have to revise some part of the design pattern. What are the 4 essential elements of our design pattern? While using the design pattern we have to know, for solving the problem there are 23 designs pattern which are written by the 4 authors. As I have said in the last lecture, they have written a book called as the design patterns, and in that design pattern book they have mentioned the 23 different design patterns. So for solving my problem, which design pattern should I apply? For that purpose we need to understand what are the different essential elements of our design pattern. So there are 4 essential elements of the design pattern. The first one is the pattern name. Obviously what is the name of that pattern, whether it is applicable to my problem for solving. So for the first name is a pattern name, which is nothing but a handle we can use to describe the design problem, its solution and consequences in a word or two. Naming a pattern immediately increases our design vocabulary. So what is the design pattern name? It gives us the idea, small idea about what that pattern exactly do, whether it is applicable for solving my problem. The second one is the problem itself. Okay, the problem describes when to apply the pattern. What that problem describes, whatever the problem you have, that describes in the design pattern. The second element is the problem. That means it says that which problem this design pattern can be applicable. The third one is the solution, which describes the elements that make up that design. Solution means what? It describes the different element that make that design and their relationship, responsibility as well as the collaboration. So all these things are represented in the solution part. And the last one is nothing but a consequences, which is nothing but a results and trade-offs after applying that pattern. Once you have applied the pattern to your solution, which type of solutions you can get, that consequences can be represented in the consequences form. So this is about the essential element of our design pattern. Okay, so in yesterday's lecture we have seen what is the design pattern, what is the benefit of design pattern. One of the best advantage of the design pattern is it provides to your code flexibility and reusability. Okay, then we have seen The Gang of Four. What is the Gang of Four? There are four authors who have written the book Design Pattern, in which they represent the different 23 design patterns, and these four authors gang is called as a Gang of Four. So now we see which are these 23 patterns. The catalog of design patterns. The catalog of GOF, that is a Gang of Four patterns. This catalog contains 23 design patterns. What this catalog? Catalog means it contains the design pattern name and give the short description about that design pattern. What that design pattern exactly do? They are listed below. So we will see there is always question for the 8 marks. Write down the catalog of design patterns. In that question you have to write down what is the which are the 23 design patterns, and give the short description, just one line description about each and every design pattern. The first design pattern in your catalog is nothing but an abstract factory. Okay, what is the first design pattern? Abstract factory. Now what this design pattern does? Abstract factory provides an interface for creating families of related or dependent objects without specifying their concrete classes. Abstract factory basically used for creation of the objects without specifying their concrete classes. Okay, so this is the main this is the main aim of your this design pattern. So it is used for creation of the dependent objects. Okay, next one is that adapter. Adapter design pattern lets class work together that couldn't otherwise because of compatible interface. Now this adapter, when we use this design pattern, when we have classes who are not compatible with each other, that is an incompatible interface, they have an incompatible interface, then in that case we can use this adapter design pattern to get these classes together for our purpose. The next is that bridge design pattern. This bridge design pattern decouple the abstraction from its implementation so that the two can vary independently. That means whatever it gives you the abstraction of your solution, so it separate your abstraction solution from their implementation. Builder. Next is the builder design pattern, which hide the construction process from its representation so that the same construction process can create different representation. Understood? It will hide its representation. How it will be represented? It will be not shown. You can use it, but it hides the representative process. That's why you can use the same construction process for the different purposes. Next is the chain of responsibility. Each word of design pattern gives its definition. Okay, look at here. What is the chain of responsibility? It avoid coupling the sender of request to its receiver by giving more than one object a chance to handle the request. Avoid coupling the sender of a request means there are multiple senders who are sending the request to its receiver, so that whenever multiple senders send the request to the receiver, there is a chance that that receiver object, different object, can take a chance to handle that request. So it avoid it. What it does? It avoid coupling the sender of request to its receiver by giving more than one object a chance to handle the request. Chain the receiving objects and pass the request along the chain until object can handle it. Means only one class object cannot handle the multiple requests. What it does? It forms the chain of that object, and each object will get chance to handle that request one by one. Once one object can handle that request, it can pass it to the next object. The next object can handle in its way. Then it pass it to the next object. In this way, the chain of object is formed to handle that request which is sent by the sender. Then the next design pattern is a command design pattern. What this command design pattern do? It encapsulates a request of an object which allows us to parameterize the clients with different requests and support undoable operation. What it does? It encapsulates a request as an object. Whatever the request comes, it will encapsulate that request in an object and allows us to parameterize the clients with a different request. Next is the composite design pattern. What the composite design pattern do? Composite combines the object into tree structure. What it does? It combines all the objects in a tree like structure and form part whole hierarchy. So it lets the client treat individual object and composition of objects form uniformly. Next one is the decorator. What this decorator does? Decorator attach additional responsibilities to an object dynamically. Whatever the responsibility an object have, what the decorator does, it add additional responsibility to that object at runtime. Dynamically means at runtime. Whenever you need to add some responsibilities to the object at a runtime, at that time you can add it with the help of decorator design pattern. Decorators provide a flexible alternative to subclassing for extending functionality. And why this can be happen? Why you want to add some extra responsibility to the object, and if such a case occur, you can use the decorator design pattern so that you can extend the functionality of that object. Next is the facet design pattern. Facet design pattern provide a uniform interface for a set of interfaces in a subsystem. That means in a subsystem you have a set of interfaces. So for that set of interfaces you require a common interface which is provided by the facet design pattern. So the facet defines a higher level interface to make the subsystem easier to use. It provides the higher level interface to make the subsystem easier to use. Next is the factory method. What this factory method does? This factory method design pattern, it defines an interface to create an object. What it does? It defines an interface for the creation of object, but let subclass decide which class to be instantiated. Okay, it defines interface for creation of the object, but it gives the rights to the subclass to decide which class to be instantiated. Factory method lets a class defer instantiation to the subclasses. The next one is the flyweight design pattern. Flyweight design pattern use sharing to support large number of fine grained object efficiently. Why we are using this flyweight design pattern? Whenever you want that large number of object can share the information or communicate, interact with each other or share something responsibility with each other, at that time you can use the flyweight design patterns. Next one is the interpreter. Interpreter given a language, define a representation for its grammar along with an interpreter that use the representation to interpret sentences in the language. Like a word, what the work of interpreter, the same work is done by the interpreter design pattern. The next is the iterator. Iterator provides a way to access the individual elements of an aggregate object without exposing its representation. What this iterator design pattern does? It provides us a way to access individual element of an object without providing its representation. Okay. The next is the mediator. Again, the name itself says that what it does. The mediator design patterns define an object that encapsulate how a set of objects interact. This is a mediator between the set of objects, and it will show you how the different objects can interact with each other. That can be shown with the help of mediator design patterns. The next is the memento. Without violating encapsulation, capture and externalize an object's internal state so that object can be restored to this state later. When we have to use the memento design pattern, if for some reason object want to move to the another state, for that another state, and after completing that work he need to again get back to the first state. So in that case we can use the memento design pattern. Without violating the encapsulation rules, this memento design pattern allows the object to restore its previous state. Observer. The next is the observer design pattern. Observer design pattern defines a one-to-many dependency between the objects so that if one object changes its state, it will notify the change to all other objects and update automatically. This is one of the very good design pattern, that is observer. It defines the dependency between the objects, one-to-many. Many objects are dependent to each other for carrying out their responsibility, and there are relationship between like a one-to-many dependencies are there. Now, whenever these dependencies between the objects, if some object can change make some changes. Okay, if some object can make some changes, so so these changes can be notified to all other objects who are dependent on this object, and this work is done by the observer. What this observer design pattern does, this observe all the objects which are dependent on each other, so that if any object can change anything, that will be that notification is given to remaining object who are dependent on that object. Next is the prototype. What this prototype design pattern does, it specifies the kinds of objects to create using a prototypical instance and create new objects by copying this prototype. It use the prototype for creation of the new object. In simple, what it does, some prototype is given, and with the help of this prototype you can create the new object. Next is the proxy. What the proxy design pattern does, it provide, obviously means what is the meaning of proxy, the same thing you can apply here for the design pattern. Proxy provide a placeholder for another object to control access to it. If you want to control access to the object, you can provide a placeholder, so no one can directly access that object elements. Same the work done by the proxy design pattern. It provide a placeholder for another object to control access to it. Next one is the singleton. The singleton design pattern ensure a class has only one object and a global point to access to that object. Again, the word itself define itself. The word singleton define itself. What it says that this design pattern ensure that a class has only one object, and if you want to access that object, there is one global point through which you can access that object. The next is the state design pattern. Now, the state design pattern allow an object to change its behavior when its internal state changes. Understood? What the state says, that whenever object change its internal state, it's allow it to change its behavior. That is done by the state design pattern. Again, the word itself define what the state design pattern does. It allow the object, when he change its internal state, he can change its behavior. The object will appear to change its class. Next one is the strategy. Obviously, again the strategy will define what it does. The strategy design pattern define a family of algorithm, encapsulate each one and make them interchangeable. It defines the strategy, how the different algorithm can be used together to make a strategy. Strategy lets the algorithm vary independently from clients that use it. Next one is the template method. The template method design pattern define the skeleton of algorithm in an operation differing some steps to the subclasses. And last design pattern is nothing but a visitor, which represent an operation to be performed on the elements of an object structure. Visitor lets you define a new operation without changing the class of the elements on which it operates. These are the 23 design pattern which is designed by the gang of 4, and they have all these design patterns with the brief description they have written in the design pattern book. Now the next is how to organize the catalog. Now we know in the catalog we have a 23 design patterns, but how to organize this design pattern, that means where they comes under the creational. We know in yesterday's lecture there are 3 types of design pattern: creational, structural and behavioral. Now which design pattern comes under the which one? So for that we need to organize our catalog. Design patterns vary in their granularity and level of abstraction. As there are many design patterns, we can organize or classify these patterns to learn them faster. Now, for that purpose, their organization is done with the 2-dimension patterns along the 2-dimension. One is the purpose, which reflects what a design pattern does, and the second one is the scope, which specify whether the pattern applies to the classes or object. That means in the first purpose means whether they comes under the creational, structural and behavioral, and in the second, what is the scope, whether they applicable to the classes or whether they are applicable to the object. And here in the chart it is shown that all these 23 design patterns, they are organized under the creational, structural and behavioral. Under the creational there are 5 design pattern, under the structural design pattern there are 7 design pattern, and inside the behavioral design pattern there are 11 design patterns. Now in each type only one design pattern is applicable to the class, all are the remaining applicable to the object. So in the creational factory method is applicable to the class, in the structural adapter is applicable to the class, because adapter, what is the use of adapter? If the classes we want to make together a classes for performing our task, but they are incompatible interface, at that time we can use the adapter. So obviously it is applicable to the class. And in the behavioral, interpreter design pattern is applicable to the class. And in creational there are 4 design patterns, which are the abstract factory, builder, prototype, singleton. They are applicable to the object. Whereas in the structural, adapter, bridge, composite, decorator, facade, flyweight and proxy, they are applicable to the object. Whereas in the behavioral, why we are saying they are applicable to the object? Because they are related to the object. They are showing how the object can communicate it, whether they are involved in the chain of responsibility, or bridge, how it works on the, whether it works on the, according where that design pattern works, whether it works on the class, then it will be come under the class scope, or if it works on the object, then it comes in under the object scope. Okay. So in the behavioral design patterns, the chain of responsibility, command, iterator, mediator, momento, observer. Look at here, observer. In the observer, what we have seen, observer, what it does, it observes the state of all the objects, and if any one object can change its state, it will notify it to the another. Obviously it will work on the object, so it comes under the object scope. Next one is the state, strategy and visitor. Along with the purpose dimension, patterns can be classified into the 3 types, that is a creational, structural and behavioral, as I said. And then they are classified into the 2 scope, that is a class pattern and object pattern. So what the class pattern does, it deal with the relationship between classes, which is through the inheritance, and so these class relationships are static at compile time. Again look at here what it says, class patterns deal with the relationship between the classes which is through the inheritance. So these classes relationship are static at compile time. Object pattern deal with the object relationship which can be changed at a runtime. Okay, object relationship can change at runtime, but class relationship static at a compile time. Almost all patterns use inheritance to some degree. I hope you will understood what is the catalog, how to write the catalog. In the catalog you need to write the 23 design patterns with a short description, and on this topic also there is a question, write down the organization of the catalog. In that case you need to organize this 23 catalog under the purpose and scope. Purpose means in which type that design pattern comes. There are 3 types, creational, structural and behavioral, and scope means whether it is applicable to the class or whether it is applicable to the object. Thank you.